This is about the quick review of today arrived GT Spirit RWB SuperNine Hong Kong edition, and it is very long awaited model. I made a order in April 13th maybe, and it finally arrived today, which means I waited 5 months. But for that patience, I can get it. It's now about 150 US dollars, but I get it under 100 US dollars for waiting 5 months. And as you can see, it's resin based, so there is no opening parts ever. And RWB, it is very famous Porsche only tuner, which is headquartered in Japan, and it's very famous for their chairman fly to their place, their own car's place, and make that huge over fender and this humongously manga-like rear spoiler. And one thing I want to mention is I think it's peculiar that the Porsche crest it's not in gold color, rather it's silver, black and white. And I don't know what SuperNine is, but above this SuperNine there's a small lettering says SuperNine, which is in Japanese. I don't know why there is Japanese character in a car whose customers' nationality is Hong Kong. And you can see it is heavily modified that the front wheel especially protrude out from the wheel arch negative camber to make a maximal tire patch, grip patch. It is well replicated in this model. And speaking of wheels, there is clear discrepancies between the front and rear wheel. The front wheel, they have positive offset. It protrudes from the wheel like a car from Mad Max. And the rear wheel has negative offset or very dish shape. I don't know why they use this kind of difference there. And you can see there are tons of aerodynamic parts. I don't know if it is functional or only for aesthetics, but they also have double cannon, and it's very comical over fendered. And this one looks like a speed tail from McLaren. And you can see on the bottom of the car, let me give a second to focus. It is said 夜のあなたの彼女より大きな声, which means it screams out loudly than your partner or your girlfriend on bed. That is very masculine and very obscene sentence for a sentence to be applied at the rear of a car. It's very offensive, I think. And under the rear wing it says stance is not a crime, and stance, I think they meant a ultra low ground clearance. I think that stance means the low ground clearance, and it's absolutely not a crime. And in person, the rear light, there is a silhouette of Porsche, classic Porsche letterings behind the tail lamp, which is I think very well replicated. And it says the bumper was retransplanted from Rotana, but I don't know what Rotana is. If you know what Rotana is, please let me know on the comment section. I know GT Spirit is not a premium brand, and they have to compromise some details, but if I were to be very picky, they have some bond remainings, and as you can see, the left and right side mirrors, they are not symmetrical. The left side mirror is positioned weird, and right one seemed right. And you can see the four tires doesn't sit on the same flat surface. You can see it's not labeled, which is very disappointing. And this rear bent for a cooling rear brake disc. It's not a hole, it's just sticker or etchings, which is already mentioned detail compromise. And having said that, this one looks very good. If you have a distance from it, it looks very nice, and it's super blue, deep blue, and it will act as an accent in my diecast collection. And there's some blemish here, and above all, I think this model worth its price. Especially I bought it about 2/3 of its original price for waiting 5 months, and personally I think it's satisfactory purchase.